Michigan was the 26th state admitted to the Union in 1837, called the Great Lakes State because its shores touch 4 of the 5 Great Lakes. Michigan gets its name from an Ojibwe Indian word meaning large lake. Michigan has an unusual geography as it consists of 2 land masses, the Upper Peninsula and the mitten-shaped Lower Peninsula. Detroit, its largest city, is known worldwide as the center of American auto industry. The apple blossom is the state flower, the robin is the state bird, and Lansing is the capital. Auto manufacturer Henry Ford was a man ahead of his time. Although he didn't invent the automobile, Ford believed that a car that everyday people could afford would be a huge success. He was right, and the company he started still exists today. But Ford was also ahead of his time in another way. He could have collected the finest and most expensive art in the world, but instead he collected commonplace things, like toasters, farm machinery, kerosene lamps, and steam engines. Ford felt that these everyday objects told a truth not written about in history books. Today educators call these items primary sources. In order to display his collections, Ford founded the Henry Ford Museum in Greenfield Village, the world's largest indoor-outdoor history museum. Ford wanted his museum to be a place where people could see how their ancestors lived and worked. The 13-acre museum and village celebrates the accomplishments of American innovators such as Ford himself, Thomas Edison, the Wright brothers, George Washington Carver, Noah Webster, and others. Where is Hitsville, USA? It's in Motown, which is short for Motor Town, which is a nickname for Detroit, the Motor City and home of the U.S. auto industry. Motown also happens to be the name of one of the best-known recording labels in the world. During the 1960s, Motown artists like the Supremes, the Temptations, Marvin Gaye and Smokey Robinson, and the Miracles dominated the pop charts. Visitors to the Motown Historical Museum in Detroit, Michigan, experienced some of the excitement of Motown's early years. The original location of Motown Record Corporation in Hitsville, USA, is a restored site that traces the story of the company's growth from its modest beginnings to the world's largest independent record manufacturer. Berry Gordy is the father of Motown. In 1959, he purchased a 2-family flat in Detroit and christened it Hitsville, USA. He lived upstairs and operated what became known as the Motown Record Corporation downstairs. Recordings were made in a former photography studio attached to the house. The birthplace of the famous Motown sound began in the reception lobby, where young hopefuls such as the Supremes and the Temptations waited to audition. The next time you hear a song like Stop in the Name of Love or My Girl, think about how the Motown sound has influenced today's music. As the numbers of farms in America disappear, barns are disappearing as well, and with them a big part of American history. Even though the number of working farms is declining, Michigan is still one of the nation's leading agricultural states. Corn is Michigan's major field crop, but the state is best known for its fruit production. Michigan leads the nation in production of cherries and is a major producer of apples. The state is also usually the leading producer of dry beans in the United States. Christmas trees are another important agricultural product, and Michigan forests produce large quantities of pulpwood products. Because of all this agricultural activity, the 4-H club there did a lot of work studying the architecture of barns. Using a guidebook developed at Michigan State University Museum, 4-H clubs photographed and cataloged the barns and silos of their counties. The club members not only preserved an aspect of their agricultural heritage that is now disappearing, but they also gained a greater awareness and appreciation of their past.